Hi folks, welcome to RJA Impact. Today we're going to be talking about the Cardiff Man. Introduction. In 1869, workers digging a well at a farm in Cardiff, New York found a body. On closer inspection there was something extraordinary about it. It was petrified and at least 10 foot long. Very quickly word spread and it became a sensation. Scientific experts as well as the public initially thought that the Cardiff Giant, as it came to be known, was historically significant. After its discovery, it was put on display and the public charged for a viewing. Thousands of people flocked to see it and it made the owners a lot of money. The creation. Let's backtrack a year to 1868. Enter George Hull, a Binghamton, New York cigar manufacturer. While travelling in Iowa for business, Hull got into an argument with a minister about details from the book of Genesis. In Genesis 6:4, it states, "There were giants in the earth in those days." Hull found it incredulous that the clergyman could take this so literally. As an atheist, Hull decided to create the giants as a way to poke fun at people like the minister who held these absurd beliefs. As an entrepreneur, he also saw a way that he could make money in the process. In that same year, he commissioned a team of sculptors in Chicago to carve an outsized human-like figure from a massive slab of gypsum. Once the sculpture was completed, the makers must have thought Hull had lost his mind. He proceeded to attack it with hammers, poke skin pools all over it with nails, and then pour acid on it. Unbeknownst to them, he was actually giving it the appearance of having been weathered for many centuries. The plan. On completion, it was sent to a cousin of Hull's called William Stubb Newell, who buried it on his farm. They carefully moved tree roots over the statue to create the impression it had been there a long time. This hoax must have taken some patience, as Hull waited a full year and then told Newell to hire workmen to dig a well in the exact location where they had buried the giant. The workmen quickly uncovered the giant, of course, and it was carefully exhumed. The tree roots lent credibility to its authenticity. As the news spread, crowds came from all over to see it, Newell charging admission, of course. He took in $25,000 in admission fees in the first week alone. He had hit the mark with one of his goals, in that several eminent clergymen announced that this was proof that the giants mentioned in the Bible actually existed. Some scientists wrote that they thought the find was of an ancient petrified man. Others wrote about it being a centuries-old statue made by Jesuit priests. However, before too long, the eminent paleontologist Nathaniel Charles Marsh stated that the giant was of very recent origin, and in the vernacular of the day, humbug. Eventually, Hull sold his share in the giant for $23,000 to a syndicate of 5 men led by David Hannum, the equivalent of approximately $480,000 in today's value. So many people came to see it that Hannum was quoted as saying, and coined the phrase, "There's a sucker born every minute." Phillias T. Barnum, known for The Greatest Show on Earth, took an interest and tried to buy the giant off Hannum, who refused. Barnum then created his own statue and displayed it in New York, stating that his statue was the real one and that Hannum's was the fake. People attribute the "sucker born every minute" quote to Barnum, but as you now know, it was actually Hannum. This eventually came to court and the judge originally declined to declare Barnum's giant a fake. He said that the only way he would declare it is if one of the giants spoke up and swore that they were the original giant. The legacy. On 10th of December 1869, Hull confessed everything to the press, and on February the 2nd, 1870, both giants were revealed as fakes in court. Both these giants and several others around the US that were discovered over the next few decades are now considered curiosities. The original is currently on display at the Farmers Museum in Cooperstown, New York, and the owner of Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum in Farmington, Michigan says that the giant on display there is Barnum's fake. Conclusion. You could argue that the creation and exploitation of the giant was a fraud, as it involved taking money from the paying public under false pretences. However, there were many thousands of people who went to see the giant even after it had been debunked. They just wanted to see the curiosity. On balance, our conclusion is hoax.